Mycobacterium, Avium complex, an important non-tuberculosis Mycobacterium, the second largest medical complex in the Mycobacterium genus.
Smooth transparent, smooth opaque, and rough opaque, which are the most common morphological forms, have been seen in Mycobacterium avium complex, but also has been seen as intermediate and pinpoint. The lipid-rich cell wall of Mycobacteria makes it resistant to gram stain. This being said, it's still deemed to be gram positive.
Mycobacterium avium and Mycobacterium intracellular are the two main bacteria that make up the complex. They're difficult to differentiate due to their similarities. They often consist of several related species that are ubiquitous in the environment. The separation relies on stereotyping and DNA probing because of the multiple different strains of the bacteria and their close relation.
Mycobacterium avium complex consists of pathogens that affect those with compromised immune systems. It's associated with diseases involving the central nervous system, the liver, the lymph nodes, the spleen, and bone marrow. It's a group of opportunistic pathogens of a major public health concern. It's responsible for a wide spectrum of disease dependence. Environmental mycobacteria are emerging, causing opportunistic infections in humans and animals. The health impacts of human mycobacterial interactions are complex and likely much broader than currently recognized. Environmental mycobacteria preferentially survive chlorination in municipal water, using it as a vector to infect humans. They have the ability to manufacture most of their own needs, including production of vitamins and amino acids. This being said, they lack the power to metabolize and depend on the host they seek in order to provide the opportunity to process metabolically. In addition to peptidoglycan, Mycobacterium contains a large amount of glycolipids that make up approximately 60% of the acid-fast cell wall. This bacteria is an obligate aerobic. It requires oxygen to undergo cellular respiration. It is important to notice that oxidative phosphorylation plays a critical role in its survival. Thus, inhibitors of oxidative phosphorylation are its worst nightmare.
With a lifespan of roughly 12 to 18 hours, its life cycle as a human pathogen begins as it enters the body through the lungs. It's then taken up by the macrophages where it multiplies. The bacterium is then spread throughout the lymphatic system. At this stage, it's either eliminated from the body or causes physical disease. Small cells elongate to form filaments. The life cycle is unique in that its elongated cells will undergo rapid division by fragmentation, but this is only if there are fatty acids present.
Mycobacterium avium complex depends on multiple macromolecules for its survival. Mycolic acid and other lipids such as lipoarabinomannan, trehalose dimycolate, 5-thiocrol dimycoserate anchor non-covalently with the cell membrane and appear to play an important role in the virulence. This being said, the avium complex components that inhibit or trigger apoptosis and their regulating mechanisms remain unclear. The results of most studies suggest that although both species of mycobacteria inhibit phagosome-lysosome function, they may be differentially susceptible to the toxic effects of the acidic environment in the mature phag lysosome. It's also been shown that the virulence of M. avium, both in macrophages as well as in mice, It depends on the bacterium morphotype. Smooth, rough, transparent, or opaque represent the bacterial morphotypes encountered. Although the smooth, transparent morphotype is associated with the virulence in mice, the opaque and even the rough morphotypes have been isolated in patients with AIDS. You should know! Mycobacterium Avium complex are a group of bacteria related to tuberculosis. These germs are very common in food, water, and soil. Almost everyone has them in their bodies. When you have a strong immune system, they don't cause problems, but they can make people with a weaker immune system very, very sick. The chief route of infection is by colonization, an invasion of the mucosa of the gastrointestinal tract. But infection through the respiratory route also occurs, so watch out. After crossing the mucosa, Mycobacterium avium infects and replicates within tissue macrophages. It's an opportunistic infection, so like I said, if you're sick, you better watch your back. Problems often result in people with weakened immune systems, including AIDS and HIV patients. There are multiple serious, life-threatening symptoms, including, but not limited to, high fever, chills, night sweats, belly pain, diarrhea, weight loss, fatigue, swollen glands, anemia, which is fewer red blood cells, blood infections, hepatitis, pneumonia. To diagnose this terrible bacteria, your doctor should perform a physical exam, and to be safe, he should order lab tests to examine your blood, your urine, sputum, bone marrow, and even tissue. If the bacteria has become localized in a particular region of the body, a CT scan can indicate the problems. There isn't much treatment. You're probably going to die. But an army of antibiotics is typically used to treat it. Anywhere from 1 to 4 different types can be required to remove the deadly bacteria. So good luck.